We are in Mark chapter 5 and verse 35. While he was still speaking, some came from the ruler of the synagogue's house who said, "Your daughter's dead. Why trouble the teacher any further?" And as soon as Jesus heard the word that was spoken, he said to the ruler of the synagogue, "Do not be afraid, only believe." And he permitted no one to follow him except Peter, James, and John, the brother of James. And he came to the house of the ruler of the synagogue and saw tumult and those who wept and wailed loudly. And he came in and he said to them, "Why make this commotion and weep? The child is not dead, but sleeping." And they ridiculed him. But when he had put them all outside, he took the father and the mother of the child and those who were with him and entered in where the child was lying. And took the child by the hand, and he said to her, "Timoth Kumi," which is translated, "Little girl, I say to you, arise." And immediately the girl arose and walked, for she was 12 years of age. And they were overcome with great amazement. But he commanded them strictly that no one should know it, and said that something should be given to her to eat. And so we have this story within a story. And Jesus is trying to make his way through the crowd to get to Jairus' house. And he could only imagine how Jairus must have felt. You know, his baby girl is on her deathbed. And he has desperately sought out Jesus because he's his only hope. And so he is desperately trying to get Jesus through the crowd, to his house, to his baby girl so he can help. But somewhere along the line, Jesus stops. And he takes the time to talk to this woman who had the sickness for 12 years. And those feelings must have only been enhanced when, while he is still talking to this woman, a couple people come from his house to say, "Your baby girl's passed on. It's too late. You know, don't bother the Savior any longer." But when Jesus hears the message, he turns to Jairus and he says, "Do not be afraid. Believe." When they finally made it to the house, the funeral had already began. The mourners are weeping and wailing. And Jesus says, "Why are you making such a commotion? She's not dead. She's just sleeping." You know, death is just such a permanent fixture. But sleep, that's temporary. We're going to wake up. And Jesus used the same term the Bible often uses to describe the faithful who have passed on. And so they think he's gone crazy. Jesus, what are you talking about? She's passed on. She's gone. It's too late for her. Her funeral's already began. But Jesus kicks them all out, and he takes with him the parents and the 3 disciples they allowed to come with him, Peter, James, and John. And he goes into the room where her body's still laying. And he takes her by the hand and he says 2 words, "Timoth Kumi." He tells her to rise up, and she arose. And she walked around. Could you imagine the emotional roller coaster that these parents must have been on? She's on her deathbed, but there's still hope. Maybe we can get Jesus to come and he can take care of her. And so they got Jesus to agree to come, but she passed away, and it's too late. She's gone. It's going to be gone forever. But with just 2 words from Jesus, she was breathing and alive and walking around. What an incredible story. It says that they are all overcome with great amazement. Jesus could overcome things like sickness and illnesses, and he can overcome demons, and he overcome the winds and the waves. And now we know he can overcome something that seems so permanent like death. What an incredible story. And I hope that's something you can kind of take with you today.